Hello and welcome to all of our Gold viewers who are here with us today. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and one of the MCs here at Gold. And here at Gold, we are getting ready for our Tongue Tie Symposium 2023. And with me here today is one of our speakers, Dr. Sharon Vallone. Welcome, Sharon. It's lovely to have you here today.
Thank you, Kristen. It's great to be here.
And where in the world are you? Before we get any further, because we have such an international audience, it's always lovely to know where our speakers are located.
Well, I'm sitting in my log cabin in the middle of the woods in Tolland, Connecticut in the United States.
Beautiful. I see the wood cabin there behind you. The wood on the ceiling looks lovely. So you are in the forest, right?
I'm living in the forest, touching those trees. Yep.
Oh, that must be absolutely beautiful. And you know, if you're not busy and working with families, also might be quite relaxing, right?
And very rejuvenating. You know, sometimes you just have to be in nature to fill the well back up.
It is so important. Yes, it is so important. And now research backs that up as well, right? Recently, there has been a lot of talk about tree bathing or forest bathing, about being out in nature, how good that is for us as well.
Absolutely.
And Sharon, you're one of my favorite people because you're a chiropractor by trade. Is that correct?
I am.
Absolutely wonderful. As a midwife, I like to always tell my families about chiropractic care and how good that is during pregnancy, postpartum, and also for their little ones, right? So, but tell me a little bit about your practice and the people you work with.
Well, for 20 years, I had a family practice. So, you know, I took care of everybody from great-great-grandma and grandpa right down to the newborns. But, you know, as the years progressed and my law of attraction, worked with a lot of special need children, a lot of special needs situations, and breastfeeding became, you know, this group of special needs kids. And some of them were pretty extreme. They were on nasogastric tubes and they were on G tubes, or there was just simply a mom who could not, with the best of guidance from their lactation consultant, bring the baby to breast to feed efficiently. So, you know, from an early time, breastfeeding was of great concern to me. And at around the 20-year mark, my life changed because of health reasons. But where people say they survive an illness, I always say the illness saved me and sent me on a path that truly, this is where my passion is. And this is where my heart is, to work with dyads, you know, to work with the pregnant moms, and then to work with the dyad when the baby's born, and still loving to work with my special needs kids, but now it's more of a limited practice.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Yes. And I love how you talk about the dyad, you know, especially those little ones where breastfeeding is not going well, and having that collaboration. You mentioned the, you know, the IBCLC or lactation consultant that works with the family, and then the family or the IBCLC contacts you and say, like, look, what's going on? Something isn't right. Can you help here? I love that collaboration of healthcare providers. You probably enjoy that as well in your practice, right?
Oh, very much so, because you know that word holistic that gets kind of overused without people actually paying attention to what it means. But we're working with two whole human beings when we work with the dyad. And if we don't look at all aspects of what could be setting up the situation. I mean, my talk is going to be about the vagus, you know, and vagal tone. There are so many things that can affect both the mother and the child that's going to affect or change their vagal tone and can interfere with this incredible relationship that needs to be formed so that everybody can develop properly, mom can enjoy her bonding experience, make her milk, baby can get nutrition, can grow, can learn to be social. So there's just, it's so important to have this collaborative piece, because one provider, it's very difficult for you to do all of the things that the dyad may need. But what we all need is to develop our instinct to differentiate, to discern what else should we look at. This isn't working, you know, this isn't making the change, the complete change we want, or getting us to our goal. What else could be going on here? We may not be the ones to take care of it, But as we raise our own education as to what could be going on, I think it just, again, emphasizes how important that collaborative effort is.
Yes, well said. Yeah, you mentioned also the title of your presentation actually is Wondering About the Wanderer, the vagus and Ankyloglossia. I absolutely love this. And I can't wait to learn more there too, because I have to tell you, in recent years, we've learned so much about the vagus nerve. When I first learned about this, I was like, my mind was blown. And I'm like, wow, this is incredible. This is amazing. I mean, you as a chiropractor, you've been probably dealing or knowing about the vagus and for a long, long time. And do you feel like now finally it's getting the attention that it deserves? And we're still learning still too to this day, right?
Absolutely. There's so much more to learn. But, you know, the old time chiropractic offices would have the poster on the wall with the lights that would light up, you know, sort of talking about which nerve went to what organ. But in reality, the vagus, there it is, you know, it's going to all those organs. So, you know, whether we're talking about the classic chiropractic approach to reducing subluxation and letting the nervous system do its job, or whether we're understanding so much more now on a deeper level that 80% of the information on the vagus is actually coming from inside our body, going back up to the brain, and how important everything is, from your structural integrity to the integrity of your microbiome, to just the fact that you are afraid of your infant. And so your anxiety is interfering with the vagal tone of both members of the dyad. There's just so many pieces.
So many pieces. I love that. And I'm glad you brought that up, because your own anxiety, you know, how that can be you know, influence how the infant is also, and having that kind of regulation going on, or not regulation, you know, when there's a disconnect. It's absolutely fascinating, right? I mean, wow. And I feel like there's still so much more to learn. We're just, I don't know if you feel this way too, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface. And I feel like in 5 years from now, you and I could still sit here and talk about all the new
new stuff.
Right?
Right. No, I agree with you 100%. And I hope we never stop learning. And that's why I think what you do is so important, making it accessible, making this information accessible, allowing us to share with each other. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for coming and being part of this. And the Tongue Tie Symposium is one of those examples. You know, when we started putting the Tongue Tie Symposium on at Gold a little while back, we thought like, oh, maybe we do this once or twice. But no, it's been coming back and for more every year, because there is so much to learn about tongue tie, right? And there is so much new information, new research, new, you know, things and that we can still learn and learn from each other. And I just absolutely love that, because it's been such a journey, and it's going to continue to be a wonderful journey. So let's talk about your presentation there, about what can we look forward to in your presentation?
Well, you can look forward to my anxiety because the topic is so vast. To try to present it in an hour was quite a challenge. And I hope that I've captured just enough sort of bullet points that people, if they're interested, will know where to go on to look. But what comes up for me, and again, I know it's my problem that I look at everything in this big picture instead of being able to be good at zooming. But again, that holism of how the system works. And yes, this is a tongue tie symposium. And yes, I'm going to explain how tongue tie could influence vagal tone. But tongue tie influences so many things, not just the structural connection, but let's say the digestive connection and how important the vagus is to our digestive system, which is a whole nother lecture. But to try to bring, you know, how important the vagus is to mom's ability to bond and make her milk. So when we have something like ankyloglossia interfering, when we have tongue tie interfering, it's affecting so many systems of the body that when a child presents to us, it's oftentimes a complex, not simple situation. And I know in my own practice, I see more and more complex, but I think that's because a lot of chiropractors are able to take care of the simple. And I wind up either with someone who hasn't improved from the simple approach to someone where it was entirely missed for so long that now we have complex compensations, and we have very complex changes in the physiology that if we don't address all of them, the child doesn't progress.
Mm. Yeah, so it is really very complex from what you're describing. It's not just a simple little fix. It really, or, it applies not only to one thing like the breastfeeding, as you mentioned, but it can have implications on the child's lives going, as also the child gets older too. So yes, there is so much to learn. And that's why it's so important that we bring this education all to healthcare providers, IBCLCs, midwives, nurses, anybody who works with the dyad, right? To learn more, to get, excited about the topic, and also, to bring that knowledge then to their practice, right?
And what's great about the vagus in its complexity, but it's in its simplicity, that there are such natural things that mothers and fathers are often already doing. You as a provider might even be doing without being aware of it. When you give mom a break and you take the baby and there you are humming and cuddling, you're resetting the baby's vagal tone. That these simple things, rocking a baby in your arms. And we've had children, we've rocked our own children. We don't have a child in our arms anymore, but we still find ourselves rocking ourselves when we're in a tense situation.
That is so interesting. That is so interesting that you say that, because I've noticed that on myself now. I had children, now they are teenagers, so I'm not holding them anymore. But I noticed that on myself, that when I'm in a situation, or that's when I'm tense and I'm standing somewhere, I feel like, and I look around and I see lots of other women doing the same thing, or parents, not only women, but like who have been rocking children in their arm at one point, or were providers who worked a lot with children. But it's so fascinating, right?
Yeah. So that's the good news, that there are going to be simple things that people can implement, or we could teach parents to implement to help with this situation. It's not always going to take a stick of dynamite to fix everything. Sometimes it just might be a little bit of a hug, a little bit of a rocking, a little bit of a humming, and not judging your own voice.
Wonderful. Dr. Sharon Vallone, I am so grateful that you're part of this symposium, and I can't wait for your presentation. Thank you so much for sitting down here with me and sharing some insights and chatting with me about the wonderful world of the Wanderer. Thank you so very much.
You're very welcome, and thank you for all you do.
And now some information for our viewers. If you are interested in the topic and want to learn more, we invite you to go to goldlearning.com for more information on this presentation and all the other presentations in the symposium. It's a 2-day symposium, September 11 and 12. You can go either to one day or attend both days as a package. And of course, if you are not able to be there live, all of our presentations are recorded, so you can watch them at your leisure as well. Thank you again, Dr. Sharon Vallone, for being here today, and thank you to our audience for watching, and I hope to see you all at the Tongue Tie Symposium. Bye-bye, everyone.